Everybody want to be a trendsetter, but you copy along things which were already tried in the past. Romans chapter 8 verse 12 says we have an obligation, but it's not to the flesh to live according to it. You can be a trendsetter, but if you build it upon what other people already pursued before you, without recognizing the Father of the spirits who quickens your flesh, then you are a man who builds his own house upon the sand, and the wind blows and the storm rises, and great will be the fall of that house. You see, it's an invitation in Romans chapter 8, which wants you to know that you have an obligation, you have a duty, you have something that you have been called to do. We all know that, and we are not separate from each other. But if you are constantly messing up what this obligation is about, and you sow your life only on fleshly desires, for if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. If you switch those things up, instead of sowing your life on the Spirit, you continue to invent evil things, things that could harm others. What do I mean by it? You are not in full control of your life. It may sound funny, because people who please themselves are the most convicted persons and people that think everything in their life is right. But the funny thing is, the road of the flesh is an easy road at the beginning, but at the end it becomes hard. The Bible even says death. So if it would just mean you would die instantly, it would have still been an easy road. But death has many forerunners. It has a lot of tragedy, bringing it to the table. Death has many faces. For example, if you go to a hospital, it might be that a person really is reaping what they are sowing after a long period of suffering, because they didn't observe to sow on the Spirit, the Spirit of life. There's even a rhetorical question in the Bible where it says, choose life that you may live. Why would you die? Romans chapter 14 verse 8. If we live for the Lord. That sums it all up, because if we truly have any motivation to be a trendsetter, and our higher aim is to do it for the Lord, then you will never fall deeper than falling into His hands. David even said, I rather fall into the hands of God because he is merciful, than in the hands of men, because they are unmerciful. But if you're constantly sowing your life on your fleshly misdeeds, on your drunkenness, on sexual pleasure, you are very much linked with human beings extremely, and every misdeed of another human being would pop out in your eyes, and you find easy offense. When you're offended in your environment, how can you truly be a trendsetter? Because a trendsetter normally should be bulletproof from all the bullshit. So it's just up to you individually to stop the trend of evil inventions in your life. Even the ancient King Solomon, the king from back in the days, he was set. He had wealth, he had riches, but still he thought to himself, the education of the heart is to be regarded higher than the public education in schools and whatnot. So he said, a man who can control his heart is greater than a man who is conquering cities. Before you get a conqueror, before you go after your ambition, like Wale in one of his songs says, ambition is priceless. It's something that's in your veins. So I put that on my name. Before you go down this road, know that you can only be ambitious when you live for the Lord, because the end result matters. Why would you live fast, die young, without knowing that you turned a blind eye to your true obligation? And that is to cry, Abba, Father. Abba means lovely Father, dear Father. And you will ask, and it shall be given to you.